amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name. Now get ready for liftoff.
10, 9,
Come on,
8,
lift
7,
off with me, folks.
5,
4, 3.
2,
Here we go.
1, 0. Ignition.
It's go time.
Liftoff. Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on
Yes.
your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your
And
hats.
get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio.
Yes.
With no name.
Let's go, 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 go. Welcome, show with no namers from all around the world. Thank you so much for joining us today here on your daily English extravaganza, where we learn real English. Yeah, the real deal Holyfield, como decimos. El auténtico. Not what you're going to find in any given textbook, but the English that you'll hear out there in the real world. You'll hear it in music, movies, political speeches, historical events, documentaries. And that's why we use all of those different resources here on the show. And as you know, there are many challenges as well here on the show. But your number one challenge every day is to say all the vocabulary that we look at aloud, en voz alta. Yeah, well, that's the speaking part. The listening part is easy. Just listen. You can listen carefully. You can listen passively if you're doing other things, but it works. You'll get something. No doubt about it. But if you take it a step further, un paso más allá, well, before you know it, you'll be speaking English as well, which in the end, that's what it's about. Understanding what others say and being understood. Communication broken down, desglosado. That's it in a nutshell. Can you understand me? Can I understand you? Well, then we are communicating. That's right. And sometimes it's nonverbal, right? We have gestures, we have body language, which makes telephone communication probably the hardest one out there because you can't rely on gestures and facial expressions and body language, which can tell us a lot. So welcome, amigos. Welcome to your English show, The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. I am eager, con muchas ganas, eager se escribe. I am eager to be here with you and to teach you some English today. So let's kick off with our first challenge. It's the Say What soundbite. Say what? What? Say what, say what, say what. Your Say What soundbite here on The Show with No Name. This is, well, an exercise that tests many different things. Firstly, listening. Comprehension. What did you hear? Secondly, well, we're hearing all different accents. So this way, of course, you have my accent, which is the Northeast of the United States, although I have a very standard accent as somebody who studied diction, voice and speech, pronunciation. But you'll hear everything. You'll even hear non-native people using the language, which is very common as well, right? You always hear people who aren't native English speakers needing the language to get by. Rafa Nadal, Cristiano Ronaldo, and everybody else in between. And the good news, you already know Spanish, the other most spoken language. Yeah, I know, Chinese. Yeah. But Chinese is kind of concentrated in one area. It's because there are a lot of them. English and Spanish, it's because we're spread out, extendidos, all over the globe. From the Americas to Europe, English and Spanish will help you. I know it from experience. Don't take my word for it, but it's true. Also, folks, as you know, we have a monthly trivia night, and it's right around the corner now, right after the Puente de Mayo, the long weekend in May. Well, we've got the 5th, May 5th. Jot it down, apunta. May 5th at 8 p.m. at the Toast Tap Room. We're all going to get together for a night of trivia, fun, and friends. And it's at 8 p.m. Get there a little bit early to get a good spot, to, get situated. And it's going to be hosted this coming month by Rob Grams and Andy Vaughn, my close personal friends and the hosts of the Lunchtime Show. So yes, May 5th. I missed the last one, sadly. I had some scheduling conflicts. Conflictos, en los horarios, so I couldn't make it. But I'm already working on rearranging my schedule so I can make it on May 5th. Again, if you want more information about this or any of our initiatives, all you have to do is follow us on social media, and you can find out everything you need to know about, well, events, special deals that we've got going on. A lot of times we do open houses as well. So follow us on social media. You also have our website. That's, if you don't use social media, you can go to our website, grupovon.com, and take a gander. Echa un vistazo. Take a look around. Take a gander. Now, the British say have a look. We say take a look. The British say have a shower. We say take a shower. Yeah, you're seeing a pattern here? All right, so my amigos, an amazing event. Again, you've got all the information on our Instagram, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all that jazz. So if you are a social media user, follow Vaughn. It's grupovon.com. You can follow me too. I haven't been using social media, but what I've been doing lately on Instagram, since I have tons and tons of videos, little píldoras, as you call them, little snippets of English, well, I've been resharing those. So it's up to you, but make sure you follow Grupo Vaughn, and this way you'll know about all our deals. You'll know about our summer camps, which are filling up quickly. Don't sleep on it. No lo consultes con la almohada, because if not, it's going to be too late. They always fill up every year, year after year. And I get it. Parents say, wait, summer camp where they learn English with a trusted name like Vaughn? Where do I sign up? So you aren't the only one who's thinking that, parents. So get on it. Ponte con ello before it's too late. Again, all the information is at grupovon.com. Also, if you'd like to participate in our weekly speaking section, question of the week, like Alberto, Alfonso, Born to Ironman, Cristina Chicago, Chris Valrol, and Elena have already done, well, you still have time. You have until the end of the day on Thursday every week to participate. As you know, we take a look at that section on Fridays. So on Friday, we will take a look at this week's question of the week, which is, what makes your day better? What never fails to make your day better? All right. And you can tell us just like your fellow students already have. And by the way, a nice round of applause for Alberto, Alfonso, Born to Iron Man, Cristina Chicago, Chris Valrol, and Elena. Why? It's the usual suspects. What does that mean? Well, they're really, really improving their speaking and putting it, that's the thing. They're doing, 1 minute a week, and I'm sure they're doing more. But just with 1 minute a week, you start to feel more comfortable. And then I think one of the best parts too is I can give you feedback and say, cuidado, esto no se dice así, se dice asá. O cuidado, esto es un error muy común. One of the great things about it is normally if somebody makes a mistake, whether it's pronunciation or a grammar mistake, usually it's a mistake that can apply to anyone. So it's good to take note because there's nothing better than learning from someone else's mistakes instead of your own, right? All right, so I urge you to participate. You still have time if you'd like to participate, all right? And the following week, which is the Puente de Mayo, you call it, the long weekend in May, Labor Day, no? Es el Día del Trabajador, Labor Day. We're going to do it on Thursday. Okay, because I want to still do it, but we're going to do it on Thursday, the 30th. So hopefully those of you who've already participated, let me give it to you. Do you prefer to save more or spend more? And be honest. Some people are shopaholics. The new iPhone comes out and they need it. And other people are like, yes, I saved 20 cents at Carrefour. Awesome. So are you a thrifty person? Or are you somebody who splurges, para usar vocabulario? Thrifty is ahorrativo, pero no es una palabra positiva para decir ahorrativo. My grandmother was very thrifty, right? And, or maybe you're somebody who likes to splurge. Y siempre se me olvida esa palabra. Splurge es darse el gusto, ¿no? Derrochar, right? Darse un homenaje. So that is next week's question of the week, if you'd like to start working on that. Are you a big spender or are you more of a saver? And we'll take a look at that next week on Thursday. So next week, if you can, get it to me before the end of the day on Wednesday. And as always, I'll tell you what I always tell you. We look forward to hearing from you. I say we because all of us, we love hearing your voices. And I know it's not just me because I see in the comments people saying, hey, great job, Nuria. Great job, Alfonso. Great job, Chris. And it's great to see you guys encouraging, alentando, cheering each other on. Vamos, tú puedes. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And we need to see more of that in life in general. All right, so now I'm going to give you your Say What soundbite. And this is probably from one of the most famous movies ever. Yeah, this is a movie that I think almost everybody in the world knows. One of those movies, like in the category of Back to the Future. Puede ser que te guste más o menos, pero todo el mundo conoce Back to the Future. Right? Or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. El bueno, el malo. These are classics. Well, this is another one of those. And, well, as always, I'm going to play this audio clip for you 4 times. You'll have 4 chances to jot down what you hear. All right? Is everybody ready? Okay, here's your Say What soundbite for the first time.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Here's Johnny.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to groupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. This is your pop quiz here on the show with no name. This is where we take a look at one of the many materials that you can find at Vaughn Tienda. And today we're taking a look at Speak English B2. Speak English B2, which many of you are at around a B2 level. So you should be familiar with most of this stuff. And, well, we shall see, as you know, because you don't just listen to this, but also I put you to the test as well. That's why we call it a pop quiz, examen sorpresa. And speaking of putting you to the test, what did you think of today's Say What soundbite? Oh my God, not an easy one, not an easy one at all. But I think we'll get close. Somebody might get it. You might even know what movie it's from because it's a famous line from a movie, which actually, let me tell you a little bit about the history of this. The line that this person says at the end is actually from a TV show. Now, if you guys know late night TV show, the master of, I mean, the guy, there wouldn't be Jimmy Fallon, there wouldn't be Dave Letterman or any of these guys without Johnny Carson. Okay, Johnny Carson was the man who made late night TV a thing. And, well, the line that his presenter, his announcer said before he came out was, "Here's Johnny." So this line is famous not just from this movie, but it was him, the character in this movie, making a reference to one of the most famous, if not the most famous, late night TV shows out there. And the best thing, I've got to say, sometimes I watch old Johnny Carson episodes, the Late Show, the Tonight Show, and incredible because he didn't talk politics. Nothing was over sexualized. It was like a really like family fun, even though it was on later at night. You know, once you put the kids to bed, there was nothing degenerate about it. A lot of times now it's all about politics or it's just not fun. And back then he would have pets doing funny tricks, no? Loros y animales. So it was a good, clean, wholesome entertainment, as we say. Wholesome, sano. And I wish I could say that about the late night shows now. Now, obviously, I don't watch TV, but, you know, sometimes you see clips on the internet. And yeah, I thought it was supposed to be comedy, but now it's like a very politicized thing. Well, kind of like everything these days, isn't it? So, all right, here we go, my amigos. I'm going to give you your pop quiz right now. This is, again, from Speak English B2. Pay attention because I will have some questions for you afterwards.
13. Grammar. Else.
¿Qué más necesitas?
What else do you need?
¿Qué más dijo él?
What else did he say?
¿Qué más hiciste?
What else did you do?
¿Quién más estuvo en la fiesta?
Who else was at the party?
¿Quién más sabe de esto?
Who else knows about this?
¿A dónde más fuisteis?
Where else did you go?
Tengo otra cosa que decirte.
I have something else to tell you.
¿Necesitas algo más?
Do you need anything else?
Solo me tomaré la ensalada. Nada más.
I'll just have the salad, nothing else.
No estaba hablando sobre el proyecto. Estaba hablando de otra cosa.
I wasn't talking about the project. I was talking about something else.
No compré nada más.
I didn't buy anything else.
Estás hablando de otra persona.
You're talking about somebody else.
Nadie más sabe cómo hacerlo.
Nobody else knows how to do it.
¿Conocías a alguien más en la fiesta aparte de mí?
Did you know anybody else at the party apart from me?
Tiene que estar en otro sitio.
It must be somewhere else.
Vayamos a otro sitio.
Let's go somewhere else.
¿Quieres ir a alguna otra parte?
Do you want to go anywhere else?
¿Has mirado en alguna otra parte?
Have you looked anywhere else?
Quiero ir al parque de atracciones. No quiero ir a ninguna otra parte.
I want to go to the amusement park. I don't want to go anywhere else.
No hay ningún otro sitio donde ir.
There's nowhere else to go. Test yourself.
¿Qué más te dijeron?
What else did they tell you?
¿A quién más viste ahí?
Who else did you see there?
Hay algo más que deberíamos hacer.
There's something else we should do.
Puedes ir con otra persona si quieres.
You can go with somebody else if you want.
No conozco a nadie más que podría ayudarnos.
I don't know anybody else who could help us.
No diré nada más hasta que hable con mi abogado.
I won't say anything else until I speak to my lawyer.
¿Has estado en algún otro sitio en Francia, aparte de Toulouse?
Have you been anywhere else in France apart from Toulouse?
26 grammar. To be used to and used to.
Estoy acostumbrado a la vida en el campo.
I'm used to life in the countryside.
Está acostumbrada al tiempo frío.
She's used to the cold weather.
No estamos acostumbrados al calor.
We're not used to the heat.
No estoy acostumbrado a este estilo de vida.
I'm not used to this kind of lifestyle.
El abuelo de Malcolm no está acostumbrado a los teléfonos móviles.
Malcolm's grandfather isn't used to mobile phones.
Él no está acostumbrado a la comida picante.
He's not used to spicy food.
¿Ya estás acostumbrada al tiempo?
Are you used to the weather yet?
No están acostumbrados a tomar sus propias decisiones.
They're not used to making their own decisions.
Los políticos están acostumbrados a tratar con la prensa.
Politicians are used to dealing with the press.
Mi padre está acostumbrado a cocinar para mucha gente.
My dad is used to cooking for lots of people.
Kate no está acostumbrada a dar órdenes.
Kate isn't used to giving orders.
Estoy acostumbrado a vivir en una ciudad grande.
I'm used to living in a big city.
Antes yo vivía en esa calle.
I used to live on that street.
Antes ella estaba casada con él, pero ya no.
She used to be married to him, but not anymore.
Mi padre antes iba al trabajo en coche, pero ya no.
My father used to drive to work, but not anymore.
Mi abuela me solía contar historias sobre su infancia.
My grandmother used to tell me stories about her childhood.
Antes eran amigos, pero ya no.
They used to be friends, but not anymore.
Él antes era un alumno de todo sobresaliente, pero ya no.
He used to be a straight-A student, but not anymore.
Antes yo iba a correr todas las mañanas.
I used to go running every morning.
Cuando era pequeño solíamos ir a Francia en verano.
When I was little, we used to go to France in the summer. Test yourself.
No estoy acostumbrado a salir todos los fines de semana.
I'm not used to going out every weekend.
Antes salía todos los fines de semana.
I used to go out every weekend.
¿Él está acostumbrado a tratar con políticos?
Is he used to dealing with politicians?
No estoy acostumbrado a dar presentaciones en inglés.
I'm not used to giving presentations in English.
Ella solía ir andando al trabajo.
She used to walk to work.
Él no está acostumbrado a tener perro.
He's not used to having a dog.
Antes teníamos perro.
We used to have a dog.
All right, folks. Great stuff. That is straight out of Speak English B2. You can pick it up online at grupovon.com. Also at, well, wherever fine books are sold. Casa del Libro, Amazon, and many other places. Well, I've got a lot of challenges lined up for you, folks. But first, we're going to take a quick commercial break. So, if I were you, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Welcome back, amigos. This is part 2 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget, if you have the Vaughn Radio app, you can learn English with all my amigos. With Ruby, with Fitz, with Jules Linares, Rob Grams, Andy Vaughn, Dave Boys, Jessica Fernandez, and the rest of the Vaughn Radio crew. Download the free app and you can learn English anywhere and everywhere for free. If you're looking for materials or want to find out about courses, you can go over to grupovon.com and you can take a look around. Or if you're British, have a look. Have a look. Lo importante es que no se dice look, es look. Porque Luke, cuando un alumno me dice Luke, ¿sabes lo que digo yo? I'm your father. Luke, I'm your father. Which is a misquoted line. La frase no es Luke, I'm your father. It's no, I'm your father. So, no es Luke, es no. Pero bueno. All right, let me give you what I want from you in today's pop quiz. The first one has 2 else's in it. Como estamos mirando el else and you want to know something about else? Native speakers use it all the time. I rarely hear my students use it. So I want to make sure we get this into your vocabulary. So the first one has 2 else's, as I said. Okay? ¿Con quién más hablaste? Y la respuesta, con nadie más. ¿Ok? ¿Con quién más hablaste? Respuesta, con nadie más. Ahí hay 2 else's. Number 2, pregúntame. Y esto es mirando el used to versus el acostumbrado, al solía. So, and we'll take a look at it. But vamos a ver lo que sabéis. So, me estáis preguntando, ¿antes viviste en Nueva York? ¿No? Antes, pero no quiero did you. Bueno, puede ser did you, pero ¿me entiendes? Tiene que tener el used to ahí en algún sitio, right? Porque eso es lo que estamos mirando hoy. So, ¿antes viviste en Nueva York? Es tu pregunta. That's number 2. And number 3, otra pregunta. ¿Estás acostumbrado a vivir en Madrid? ¿Estás acostumbrado a vivir en Madrid? That is number 3. Okay, so the first one we're looking at else, and the other 2 we're looking at used to. All right, and we'll review all of this stuff when we take a look at it. So number 1, ¿con quién más hablaste? La respuesta, con nadie más, o nadie más directamente. Number 2, ¿antes viviste en Nueva York? Pregúntame. Number 3, ¿estás acostumbrado a vivir en Madrid? Pregunta, ¿no? ¿Estás acostumbrado a vivir en Madrid? So there you go, folks. Those are your challenges for today's pop quiz. They're coming out of our book, Speak English B2. Remember, we have B1, and then we have A1, I believe, and A. I don't remember, but we've got them for all the different levels. as well as complete online courses. So, whatever your needs may be, again, stop by our website, grupovon.com. Also, if you're following on social media, then you'll find out about when we've got special deals. Hey, I've always got my eyes out there for special deals. If I know I need something, I'm like, okay. In fact, as you know, with Google Flights, tell me if this flight goes down, right? You can even track prices of things. And I'm very thrifty. Mira, hablando del question of the week de la semana que viene, I'm very thrifty. I wasn't always that way, but as I've gotten older, I've become thriftier and thriftier. Now, I'm not a cheapskate. No soy un tacaño. That sucks, right? Nobody likes a cheapskate, but everybody appreciates somebody who can save a couple bucks, who, is thrifty. Es la palabra clave ahí. All right. So those are your challenges in our pop quiz. I'm sure you guys will do a wonderful job. We'll check those in just a minute. I've got to give you also the Say What soundbite, which I see the ladies seem to know where it's from and what's going on. So here it is for the second time, and then we'll discuss it. Here we go.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Here's Johnny.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. Just one of the many materials that we have produced here at Vaughn. You've got This Book is the Shit. You've got This Book is the Milk. This Book is the Milk too. English Everywhere, English on the Go, and the one we're looking at today, Speak English B2. I also highly recommend our translation booklet. It's awesome. It's a very complete material. We've looked at it many times here on the show. Also, you've got the student manual. if you really want to understand the ins and outs of the Vaughn method. But as Richard said the other day, I can give you the method. It's about the teacher. So that, the same person with all the information that does, maybe they're missing that spark, esa chispa, it's not going to work, right? In fact, he even said the other day, I went to a speech that Richard Vaughn was giving, and he said, I could hand my competition the Vaughn method, the written method, but that doesn't mean they're going to know how to carry it out. So it's not just the method, but it's the teacher as the vehicle for that method, right? And Richard Vaughn has said that since the day I met him, and he continues to stand by that. This method is about the teacher, right? The teacher giving 110%, the teacher jumping off the page, right? Resaltando, destacando. And really, la palabra que usó, el día que le conocí, fíjate, nunca me olvidará. He doesn't remember it because, well, he's been to many training classes. But the other day I said, do you remember what you said? I said, and it stuck with me. I said, you don't just teach the students, you dazzle the students, deslumbrar. And I have applied that philosophy since day one. So thanks to Richard Vaughn, my friend, my mentor. It's not just the guy who hired me, but also somebody who's inspired me. Hey, I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. All right, let's take a look at this else thing, because I think it's pretty straightforward. No hay mucho misterio, but for some reason, students avoid it. For some reason, I rarely hear students using this else. So let's take a look at some examples with else. Okay, well, we use it after indefinite pronouns. So that is someone, anyone, something, or nothing. So is there anything else you need? That's in a question, right? Someone else took my seat. I don't want anything else. No quiero nada más. Also, we use it after question words, as we heard in that audio. ¿Quién más viene a la fiesta? Let's see if you know it. Who else is coming to the party? ¿Qué más podemos intentar? What else can we try? O probar o intentar, right? ¿En qué otro lugar podrían estar? Where else could they be? Where else could they be? Luego tenemos el or else, porque si no, right? So we'd better hurry up, más nos vale. We'd better hurry up or else we'll miss the bus, all right? Study hard or else you won't get straight A's. Hemos visto sacar todo sobresaliente en ese audio to get straight A's. Okay, A is sobresaliente. Also, el what else? Do you need anything else? Of course, George Clooney, Nespresso. What else? Well, my answer to that is, well, real coffee. What else? Well, the real stuff. That's the else. Hey, if you guys like Nespresso, hey, whatever floats your boat. But as somebody who loves real coffee, I don't know, man. It's close. Es mejor de las de la máquina expendedora del trabajo, right? But it's not the same. Not the same. Not for me, at least. And especially when in Spain, you guys use those Italian coffee, the ones that you put on the stove in el vitro. Those are awesome, It's just the smell emanating. In fact, every time Americans come to visit me, friends, family members, do you know it never fails? Nunca falla. Se llevan una cafetera de esas. They're like, oh my God, this is the best coffee. And I want to bring one. And I go on to Amazon. I'm like, cafetera tal, Bialetti, which Bialetti is the brand. No, esa es la buena, Bialetti. And I get them one. So it's a little thing that I've bought, I think, for at least maybe 5 or 6 people now who have left here. Because as you know, the coffee in the United States, the Java, the Joe, llámalo como quieras, son otras palabras para café, is watered down. It is. And here, oh man, it's like syrup. Now I always add a little water to mine, but it's not watered down. One thing is adding a splash of water, and another thing is you can see through it. Es transparente el café. That's like in the United States, right? So that is the else over there. And then we've got the be used to versus get used to versus used to. Okay, so let's write these sentences here. I used to live in New York. Yo antes, sujeto más used to más complemento de la frase. I used to se dice como una sola, okay? I used to live in New York. Okay, eso no es acostumbrado, eso es antes, yo antes hacía algo que ya no haces. I think they translated it as solía también, right? I used to smoke, alguien que dejó de fumar. Right? I used to be single, alguien que se ha casado. O sea, es un pasado muy pasado. I used to go to the bank every day. Ya no voy al banco, ¿no? Podría seguir esta frase perfectamente, pero ya no. Okay? But not anymore. So, eso es sujeto más used to más infinitivo. I used to be happy. I used to eat healthier. ¿Ves? El verbo ahí es the infinitive form of the verb. Now, cuando ves el used to con be, I am, you are, he was, she was, cualquier forma de be, el verbo ser o estar, o get, ya si empleamos verbo tiene que ir con gerundio, pero ya cambia el significado. I got used to living in Spain very quickly. Fíjate, I got used to living. Yo sé que engaña, por eso lo estamos mirando, porque dices to, pues le tiene que seguir un infinitivo. No. ¿Ok? Piensa si es algo acostumbrado, pues lo sigues haciendo, ¿no? El ing, el gerundio. So I got used to living in Spain really quickly. Now I'm used to living in Spain. O sea, si ves el to be en cualquier forma, o el get delante de ese used to, y hay un verbo, ese verbo va en gerundio, un truquito. ¿Ok? Si no ves el be, entonces ya es el pasado de used to. I used to. Sin be, sin get, sin ningún verbo por medio. Okay? So, and some people mix it up with usually, right? I've had students say, Alberto, I used to listen to you. I go, ¿ya no escuchas? Sí, todos los días. Digo, entonces sería, I usually listen to you. I used to listen more often. I'm used to listening to Vaughn Radio. Créate una pequeña historia con cada una, así you know that you're using it correctly. Also, you can also just use a noun. So I'm used to the weekends. I'm getting used to my new house. No tiene por qué ser verbo, puede ser un sustantivo. Sin embargo, si es verbo, ya sabemos. Gerundio. Okay, the gerund. El ing, as we say. Let's practice a couple. Él antes era cura. He used to be a priest. He used to be a priest. No, estamos hablando del pasado. ¿Me lo puedes poner en pregunta? ¿Antes era cura? Did he? O sea, usamos el auxiliar del pasado, que es el did. Did he used to be a priest? Yeah, he used to be a priest. ¿Y la negación? He didn't used to be a priest. Solo bueno, que usamos el mismo auxiliar que el pasado simple. ¿Ok? Lo único es el used to, ya hemos dicho, es un pasado muy cerrado. Ok, vamos a ver otra. No estoy acostumbrado a comer comida basura. Ya tiene el be. I'm not used to eating junk food. I'm not used to eating junk food. ¿Cómo me lo harías en pregunta? Are you used to eating junk food? No, I'm not used to eating junk food. Ok, yo antes iba al trabajo en coche. I used to drive to work. I used to drive to work. La pregunta, did you used to drive to work? Ahora, estoy acostumbrado a ir al trabajo en coche, perdona. I'm used to driving to work. All right. So a couple things I wanted to clear up there because, well, that used to can cause quite a bit of confusion. We're going to take a look at your answers right now. A couple other things I wanted to highlight from Speak English B2. You all know the word theme park, right? Well, a theme park es un parque temático. Now, what if it's just like parque de atracciones, aunque tiene tematización? We call it an amusement park, como de diversión. An amusement park. We also heard they said to make a decision. Pero ¿se puede decir to take a decision? Yo no lo diría, pero hay gente que sí. O sea, con decision, we make decisions, o he oído muchos británicos decir to take a decision. Otra vez, yo siempre uso make, pero ojo, oirás las dos. We also looked at the word prensa, press. So, rueda de prensa, how do we say that? Había una rueda de prensa. There was a press conference. All right. Now let's go over to our group. I see we've got tons of participation. Wonderful. Great to see you all here, ready to learn English and laugh with us. There's Elena from Galicia. What's up, Elena? And she says, hi there. Let's get the fun started. And while we're at it, learn some real English. Toma, totally native. Ya que estamos, while we're at it, no es fácil de decir, pero bueno, ahí lo tiene Elena. Ya que estamos, while we're at it, ya que estamos en ello, right? Sería la traducción. Ya que estamos. Great, Elena. Wonderful to have you on board. There's Chris Valrol checking in as well. She says, hi, a show with no namers. Come on, guys. Let's make our day better. No doubt about it. You have got the right attitude, both of you. Oh, speaking of people with the right attitude, there she is, lovely Laura, who has, even though she hasn't been here live for a few weeks, she has been, putting in her 2 cents, ¿no? Poniendo su granito de arena in our homophone section and in our double trouble. Welcome, Laura. She says, good morning, lovely show with no namers and teacher. Thank you for all the shout outs last week. I'm on cloud 9. Toma, totally native. I'm on cloud 9. Estoy en la gloria. Estoy encantadísima. I'm also in 7th heaven, right? To be in 7th heaven or to be on cloud 9 es estar, vamos, contentísima. I'm on cloud 9 to be able to spend some time with you today. Well, the feeling is mutual. Thank you so much, Laura, Chris, and Elena, my superstars in the house. Let's see. Laura says as well, by the way, BTW, I had a hunch. Toma palabra, una corazonada. I had a hunch Elena would be all that and a bag of chips. Hey, I recognize that expression. The other day, I sent Laura a picture of us with Elena in Galicia, in Vigo. And she said, she said, oh, Elena seems lovely. And I said, she's all that and a bag of chips. Bueno, empezamos con she's all that. Es la bomba. Y una bolsa de patatas fritas. O sea, y más. Right? I love that expression. She's all that and a bag of chips. O sea, mola todo, mola mazo, as you would say in Madrid, and y más, no? And a bag of chips. No doubt about it, Laura. I love it. Little totally natives flying everywhere here. All right, let's see what you guys heard in today's Say What soundbite. Chris Valrol, she's really been working on fine-tuning her ear. She says, I heard a deranged American man. Absolutely. He's terrorizing a woman using the story of the 3 little pigs to accompany his axe swings while he smashes down a door. Absolutely. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, I'll huff and I'll puff. Oh, this is a classic. I remember somebody gave my daughter a book, one of these books where you press the buttons and you hear the audio. And it was in English, or at least it was supposed to be in English. y nos reíamos un montón porque sonaba así, ¿ok? Voy a imitarlo tal como era. Little pig, let me in. I'm like, ¿esto es inglés? ¿Quién ha vendido esto como inglés? Como era regalo no me pude quejar, but I was like, little pig. Es que era así, no exagero. Tengo que buscar el libro. It was crazy. I was like, I hope no kids are listening to this and pronouncing it like that. So, Chris, spot on. Clavado. Elena says, an extract of a thriller based on one of Stephen King's books, right? Books, uno de sus libros, en plural, based on one of Stephen King's books in which a mentally deranged man recites part of a well-known fable story. Yeah, or a fairy tale. We say a fairy tale, while tearing down a door. Wow, ladies, excellent vocabulary. Grace said, I don't like this kind of movies, but I think it's a really great one. Yeah, I think that's the general consensus regarding this movie. Folks, I can't believe it. We've got to go to a quick commercial break. We've got a lot more comments to go through when we come back. So we'll take a look at all your comments. Plus, I've got so many more challenges lined up ahead. So, you know how this works. And I'll tell you what, I need your help. You know our favorite phrasal verb. If I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Stick around. Welcome back, amigos. This is your show, the show with no name. Yeah, I'm just here to be the glue, no, el pegamento, como decimos en inglés, to bring it all together. All right. Well, in this part of the show, we're going to take a look at today's homophones. We've got our Say What soundbite. We've also got our pop quiz. So many different things going on here. And the great news is when we finish up here, you've got tons of great programs all afternoon long and evening. Just download the free Vaughn Radio app, and you can learn English with us anywhere. You don't even need an internet connection. Well, you download it while you're, at your house or while you're in the office. And this way, it doesn't matter if you don't have service, cobertura. A little trick that I learned the hard way when I was traveling. I remember once on a trip to the United States, I was like, oh, I can't wait. I'm going to listen to all these podcasts. And then, of course, I realized I didn't download them into my phone. So I would have had to pay for internet, and I didn't feel like it. No me apetecía darle más dinero a Iberia. No offense. You guys have enough money. So, guess what? No podcasts for me. And that was the last time I went on a trip without downloading an arsenal of content. So remember that next time you're going to be, sometimes if you take the train, the high-speed train, El Ave, you go through dead spots. Well, if you have it downloaded on your phone, then that won't be a problem. All right, let's kick off with a little challenge here where we look at tricky words. It's called Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Homophones only on the show with no name. Now, this first word, oh my God, I never realized how rich it was. O sea, es una palabra con muchos usos. And claro, hasta que paras y dices, oh, wow. Yeah, claro, esto también. All right, so as always, I want to know if you're familiar with these two words and the way they sound. So what are the words and do they sound exactly the same? Now, the first one, it's a name. That's right. Si empieza con mayúscula, es una abreviatura para Charlie. O sea, si te llamas Charlie, yo conozco, de hecho, un amigo del instituto, Charlie, y le llamamos así. Okay? Also, it's arrojar, lanzar. So it's another way of saying to throw something. También es tirar a la basura. Okay? Del contexto se sabe cuál es. Es un corte de carne también. Espaldilla. It's also mandril, but not the animal. Mandril portabrocas. The thing that's on a drill. Zzz, para aguantar las brocas, right? So it's that as well. It's also vomitar. Yeah. Vomitar. So, wow, this could be a quadruple trouble here. Unbelievable. I just never realized what a rich word it is. No, quadruple, porque si decimos Carlitos, pues eso sería también esta palabra. So, Carlitos, arrojar, lanzar, tirar a la basura, espaldilla, mandril, portabrocas, y vomitar. That is your first word. All right? The second word is a block that holds something in place. So if you've been to the airport, you see that they put these things behind the wheels, ¿no? Detrás de las ruedas del avión, behind the landing gear, para que no se mueva, ¿no? You call it cuña, calce. Tenéis muchas palabras para esta cosa. Cuña, calce, calza o calzo. Sounds like somebody was a bit indecisive. Now, también si añadimos la palabra a reventar, full al final, significa a reventar, ¿ok? A tope. Está repleto de. We've used this word before, ¿ok? Pero eso es añadiendo la palabra full después. Okay, so those are your words. The first one, as I said, many, many meanings. The second one, a block that holds something in place, right? También es el verbo calzar. Okay, so cuña, calce, calza, calzo. Y también si añadimos apóstrofe, guión con full, es a reventar. All right? Those are your words. Are they homophones? We'll find out in just a moment. Let me also give you today's Say What soundbite. Here it is for the third time.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Here's Johnny.
Me pregunta el del chiringuito si quiero hacer kitesurf o wakeboard o si prefiero tomarme un bitter cass antes. Me acaba de decir 5 palabras en inglés. Kite, que significa cometa, surf, que es obviamente hacer surf, pero también significa oleaje. Wake, que es estela, en este caso la estela del barco. Board es tabla y bitter es amargo. Y justo antes, cuando le pregunté si hablaba inglés, me dijo:
Pero patatero.
sabemos mucho más inglés de lo que creemos. Solo nos falta asimilarlo y situarlo. Aprende a aprender inglés en cualquier lugar con This Book is the Milk y su secuela, This Book is the Milk 2. Te enseñaremos cómo enfocar el inglés, aprovechando todo el inglés que tenemos alrededor y de una manera divertida y adictiva. The Remilk ahora se llama This Book is the Milk 2 y viene con audio y nueva portada. Descúbrelos ya en vaughantienda.com. That's right, folks. All the materials you'll need to improve your English, just go to our website, grupovon.com. Also, we've got private classes. You say particular. We say private classes. We've got group classes, summer camps for the kids, and all that jazz. Take a gander, echa un vistazo at grupovon.com. All right. Now, as I said, we've got tons of comments coming in here, which is lovely. Wonderful job to all of you who are participating. Excellent, excellent. All right, Laura, we're gonna pick up. Toma dos phrasal verbs a la vez que suelen ir juntas. We're going to pick up where we left off. Vamos a retomar donde lo hemos dejado. We're going to pick up. Es muy de profe esta frase. We're going to pick up where we left off. All right, let's see. Laura, referring to our Say What soundbite, she says, I heard a scene from a horror movie in which a really mean guy who calls himself Johnny is haunting a girl using some lines from a classic fable. Yep. That's right. Oh, and by the way, hablando de diminutivos, did you know Jonathan? Pues alguien que se llama Jonathan se le puede llamar John, pero también Jack. ¿Tú sabes que John F. Kennedy, cómo le llamaban? Jack Kennedy. Que es rarísimo que dices, Jack, pero ¿de dónde sale? Pues viene de las raíces de ese nombre, okay? So it's very common to have somebody named John and he doesn't want to be called Johnny, so they call him Jack, just so you know. So maybe it makes sense there because the character's name is Jack Torrance. So technically, Johnny and Jack, with that explanation, they're kind of the same name, all right? Okay, great. Let's see. Elena's got something to say regarding today's pop quiz. She says, who else did you speak to? To no one else. Muy bien. Uso perfecto del else. To no one or nobody. Lo que prefieras ahí. Who else did you speak to? To no one else. Perfect. The next one. Did you used to live in New York? Yes. Y cuidado con este verbo, amigos. ¿Por qué? ¿Tú sabes las veces que he oído leave? Pues leave es otra palabra, right? What time do you leave the office? Where do you live? Fíjate, no son homófonos. So hay que tener mucho cuidado de no decir leave. He leaves es él se marcha. He lives, Hay que hacer ese sonido, He lives. Dilo conmigo. Did you used to live in New York? Where do you live? He lives in Madrid, no lives, ¿ok? Lo digo porque lo he oído 1,000 millones de veces. All right, the next one. Are you used to living in Madrid? Perfect, Elena. Ahora, ¿ves? La primera era el pasado. Did you used to live? Ahí usamos el infinitivo, right? And the second one, are you used to living? Porque ya lleva el be, el ser o el estar o el get que hemos dicho. Ya cuando eso acompaña al used to, ya es acostumbrarse o estar acostumbrado. Perfect job, Elena. I expected nothing else. Toma else. Let's see. Laura says, who else did you speak to? To no one else. Excellent. The next one. Did you used to live in New York? Perfecto. And are you used to living in Madrid? Yes and yes. So yes, I used to live in New York. And yes, I'm used to living in Madrid. There's Born to Iron Man checking in. He says, hello, friends. Hello, buddy. Welcome aboard. Great to have you with us. And he's also participating in today's pop quiz. He says, who else did you talk to? Perfecto. Se puede decir con speak o con talk. And he said, no one else. Now, pregunta, ¿cuál es la diferencia entre speak to and talk to? Para mí, si tú me dices, I need to speak to you, me da a mí que es más serio que let's talk, right? So yo diría que speak es un poco el más formal de los dos. También speak es la que usamos para idiomas. He speaks 3 languages, aunque yo he oído gente decir he talks, pero realmente sería speaks, okay? All right, great. And so he goes, who else did you talk to? No one else. Did you used to live in New York? Perfecto. Y Alberto, are you used to living in Madrid? Great job. Chris Valrol too. Who else did you talk to? No one else. Did you used to live in New York? I used to live in Barcelona. Are you used to living in Madrid? Wonderful job. Wonderful job. Let's see. German checking in. He says, hello, guys. What's up, German? Elena says, hey, nice expression, Laura. And she says, I learned it from AA and I loved it. I had to use it. Oh, I love that one too. You're all that and a bag of chips. O sea, eres la bomba y más. All right, let's see. German says, are you ready for your daily dose of razzle dazzle? Always, buddy, always. He says, just kidding, AA. Don't scold me, please. Well, no, I just answered your question. Definitely ready. We've been rocking and rolling. Well, since the red light came on that says on air, recording, right? Of course. In fact, I'm usually ready a couple minutes before. I always like to play a little music before I go live just to get pumped up para motivarme. All right, let's see over here. We've got a lot of people participating in our homophones. Let's see. The first person to take a stab at it is Elena. And Elena, those are the correct words. And she says they're not homophones. Chris Valrol agrees. Laura agrees. German agrees. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Oh, and it seems like the ladies have been censored. Oh, my God. YouTube. No comment. It's incredible. So here's my other question. So what other stuff is being censored? If they're censoring an English class, like where we're like learning, like, you know, a classroom, what else is being censored out there? My God, YouTube, this is not a good look for you. I'm saying, man, I understand censoring when someone says, I'm going to kill everybody. And, you know, I get that. That's hate speech. But here, when you say you're saying a nursery rhyme, una rima de niños, little pig, what? YouTube, get with the program. Everybody can see you there. Sorry to hear that, ladies. Well, I believe you. I believe that you put it down right. And I believe that YouTube is the worst platform ever. And as I said, I need to look into it. I know there are a couple others. There's one called Odyssey, and there's another one called Rumble, which, you know what? I'm not ruling it out. No lo voy a descartar, but I have a feeling I'm not going to be on YouTube very much longer. And as far as I know, now they have a software that I can take all my videos off YouTube and I can put them on one of these platforms relatively easy. So every day, my decision is much clearer. Thank you, YouTube, for censoring our English class. And yeah, thanks for making it really easy to know that this is not the platform to be on. Nope. It was back in the day when it was fun. But once you start censoring people and people who are learning English, we're not even like, starting a revolution or trying to like plot against the government, un complot contra el gobierno. No. So, wow, pretty scary stuff, YouTube. It's not a good look, como he dicho. La mejor forma de expresarlo no pintas muy bien así. No es un buen look para, hoy en día censurar a la gente, right? And again, during an English class, like we're doing completely inoffensive, I don't know. I don't get it. Laura says, tell us how you really feel. Eso es. No, believe me, me he quedado bastante corto. Me he controlado hoy. But it's a shame because I thought free speech was kind of like a thing, but not on YouTube. Not on YouTube. So, all right, let's go back to our homophones. So the first word is chuck. Chuck. Could you chuck me the keys? Lánzame las llaves, right? What do you want me to do with this banana peel? Chuck it. Tíralo a la basura. What's your favorite cut of beef? Well, I like chuck, right? I'm going to put it on the barbecue. We also said the drill, right? The drill has a chuck that you put the drill bits, las brocas, I think you say, into it, right? And also to chuck or to up chuck means to vomit. So, wow, that's a really rich word, chuck. Okay, and the second word, chalk. Las voy a decir juntas. Chuck, chalk. Chuck, chalk. Do they sound the same? Absolutely not. Chuck, la primera, vamos a decirlo en voz alta. Chuck rhymes with luck. Chuck rhymes with luck. Rhymes with yeah, esa también. Also, it rhymes with tuck, meter en la cama o meter tu camiseta. And chalk rhymes with block, sock, tick tock, right? So let's isolate the vowel sounds. Chuck, chuck, chalk, Say them with me. Chuck, chalk. Y el chalk, hemos dicho, tiene muchos, I think nobody could make a decision there in Spanish. Cuña, calce, calza, calzo. And that's chalk, a block that holds something in place. But also chock full is a reventar. The British say chock a block. We don't say that as much in the United States. So excellent job to all the people who participated in our homophone section. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. All right. Well, we've got much more to go here. So you know what? I think it's time for Wacky World Records.
Wacky World Records. These are the wackiest records in the whole wide world.
That's right, Wacky World Records here on the show with no name. And as I said, Wacky World Records is where we're going to take a look at some of these records here that, are maybe unconventional or quirky, as we say. Quirky is another way of saying poco convencional. Quirky, wacky world records. And thanks to my daughter for helping me out with the jingle there. All right, well, let's see what we've got today. Today, I decided to take a look at rivers. That's right. Well, rivers, a lot of times, they're used as a euphemism for life, right? Life is like a river. Go with the flow, right? A river. Well, today we're going to take a look at the most polluted river in the world. That's right. Sadly, As I said, they're wacky world records. It's not your typical world record. So where do you think it is? If you had to guess, where is the most polluted river in the world? Are you thinking China? Are you thinking India? Well, you'd be close. It's between them, kind of. It's the Citarum River. It's located in West Java, Indonesia. We looked at the word Java before. Es otra forma de decir café. And this river is widely regarded as the world's dirtiest and most polluted river. It is severely contaminated with toxic chemicals. Oh, great. Heavy metals, not the music. Raw sewage. Raw sewage is aguas negras, you say? Yeah, raw, pero crudo, sin tratar. And massive amounts of household garbage that people chucked. Toma, para usar en contexto, que han echado. From over, are you ready for this part? 2,700 industries and surrounding communities. So between communities and industries that are along the riverbanks, there are 2,700. And the worst part, it serves 80% of Jakarta's water supply, making it obviously a critical health hazard. And that's pretty horrible there. The tests that they've done, they found lead. Lead is plomo. We all know about that. Manganese, iron, and high levels of fecal coliform bacteria. They say that the lead levels, niveles de plomo, are over 1,000 times higher, 1,000 por mil, 1,000 times higher than the EPA standards. The EPA is the Environmental Protection Agency. Now, what does this water look like? I mean, just think about it. That's what's in it. Well, they often describe it as a carpet of junk, una moqueta de basura. It's like a thick sludge. ¿Cómo se dice? Sludge. Sludge se escribe. Sludge. Lodo, barro, fango. I've heard that word before. Fango. It's like a thick sludge. The water's obviously dark black, right? It's not like the waters of the Caribbean. And the smell, the odors that it emits are pungent, muy fuertes. And obviously that has an impact on the life around it, not just the humans, as we said, who get drinking water from it, but over 60% of fish species there have been killed, right? But again, over 15 million people rely on this river for their daily needs, including irrigating Indonesia's rice fields, los campos de arroz. Oh, man. Very, very sad. Well, that's today's wacky world record. Folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. It's our final commercial break. We'll be right back with much more. So, stick around. Welcome back. Welcome back, folks. This is the fourth and final part of today's Show With No Name on Vaughn Radio. Thank you so much for joining us today and every day. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with you once again, learning and laughing. And don't forget to spread the word. You know, when people say, hey, how do you speak English so well? Or how do you understand everything they're saying on that series? That's your cue, tu pie, tu entrada, decir, hey, have you heard of Vaughn Radio? It's free. Here, give me your phone. I'll download the app for you. Hey. And that's how we continue to grow, and you continue to grow as well. Let's grow together. Isn't there anything more beautiful than that? Growing together. All right, well, in this part of the show, we've got many more challenges up ahead. We're going to kick things off with our Double Trouble. We've also got our Say What soundbite for the fourth time, which some of you have gotten, but YouTube will not allow it. We also have Name That Movie, You're Joking, Famous Birthdays, Name That Lyric, and much, much more. And if you stay tuned after today's show, you can continue to learn and laugh with all my amigos. Download the app and learn with us. All right, let's kick things off with our challenge called Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
All right, my amigos, it is time for today's Double Trouble. Here we go. Te dije que regaras mis plantas. Sin embargo, es agua pasada. Ooh, there you go. I think it's an easy one today, if we don't get censored, obviously. So, te dije que regaras mis plantas. Sin embargo, es agua pasada. Hey, we were just talking about regando, right? When we were talking about that polluted river in Indonesia. Lo usan para regar los campos de arroz. So be careful where you get your rice from, right? Oh man, that was pretty crazy, that river. Well, that's why it's called Wacky World Records. So, te dije que regaras mis plantas. Sin embargo, es agua pasada. And here's your Say What soundbite for the fourth and final time.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Here's Johnny.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar listo para cualquier desafío? Con el máster de inglés del Grupo Vaughan podrás transformar tu futuro. Este programa intensivo te ayudará a dominar el inglés profesional, perfeccionar tu comunicación y ganar la confianza que necesitas para conseguir tus objetivos. Nuestros profesores Vaughan especializados te prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional. No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, folks. GrupoVaughn.com. You can find all the materials you'd like to know about and courses, including our summer camps for the kids. You've got something for every age, every level, and every budget under the sun. So stop by GrupoVaughn.com and see which one's right for you. All right, let's go on over here to our virtual classroom and see who's got something to say about today's double trouble. All right, the first one to take a stab at it is lovely Laura. And she says, I told you to water my plants. However, it's water under the bridge. That is correct. That's right. It's water under the bridge. Same idea, ¿no? La idea es, hemos dicho, el río es algo que a veces, sometimes we use it as a parallel to life, right? And, there's one example. Or to burn bridges. Esa me encanta también. No cierres puertas. We say don't burn bridges. Pero en inglés es más poético aún, porque si quemas un puente, ¿cómo lo vas a cruzar si tienes que volver? Ajá. Porque una puerta, a ver si la puedo abrir otra vez. Pero un puente que ya has quemado. So, yeah. All right, Laura, wonderful. I told you to water my plants. Regar. Now, you can say to irrigate. Pero si yo oigo la palabra irrigate, yo estoy pensando como en masivo, ¿no? Como una granja, ¿no? Donde tienen an irrigation system. Lo que yo hago con mis plantas, right? With a watering can, es como se llama. I water my plants, okay? So I told you to water my plants. However, sin embargo, it's water under the bridge. Excellent job, Laura. Let's see, Elena too. I told you to water my plants, but now it's water under the bridge. Great. German, I told you to water my plants, but that's water under the bridge. Perfect. Chris, I told you to water my plants. Nevertheless no, hay que poner it's, right? Otra vez. So it's, te pongo te y apóstrofe ahí para rematar. Nevertheless, it's water under the bridge. Excellent job. Hopefully it's not polluted water under the bridge. All right, folks, that is today's Double Trouble. What a wonderful job everybody is doing today. And I'll tell you what, as a reward, I'm going to take you to the movies. Name that movie. That's right. That's right. It's Name That Movie here on the show with no name. All right, here we go. She's the perfect all-American parent, a great cook and homemaker, a devoted recycler, and a woman who will literally kill to keep her children happy. Wow. All right. That took a crazy turn over there. So she's the perfect all-American. All-American es americana pura y dura. The all-American parent. Cuidado con esta palabra. He oído muchas veces my parents. No es pa, es pair. Como pera. My parents. She's the perfect all-American parent. A great cook. Buena cocinadora. No cook, cook. Que hemos visto eso en unos homophones hace poco. Cook, un chiflado. Cook, cocinero o cocinar. ¿Te acuerdas de la frase? That cook is a kook. Ese cocinero es un chiflado. That cook is a kook. So a great cook and homemaker. A homemaker es ama de casa. A homemaker. A devoted recycler and a woman who will literally kill to keep her children happy. Ladies and gentlemen, your movie queen is back again. Chris Valrol. The movie is called Serial Mom. No cereales. Como en serie. Bueno, son homófonos. Si no lo ves escrito, Serial Mom. Madre en serie. Okay? And, well, this is a movie starring Kathleen Turner, Sam Waterson, Ricky Lake. It's directed and written by John Waters. I wonder if he waters his plants. Ajá, por eso usamos el double trouble. John Waters? That's water under the bridge now. Let's see what they say. An outrageous, wild, and crazy comedy. Kathleen Turner is hilarious. All right. I remember seeing it when I was a kid. The movie came out in 1994. Again, it's called Serial Mom. Madre en serie. All right, let's take a look at the scene here. The first person's name is Sloppy. Now, do you know what sloppy means? Somebody who's messy. Descuidado, right? Your room is sloppy. Your report was sloppy. Okay? Sloppy. Sloppy, right? In fact, slop is bazofia. So sloppy, pues, it's not clean. It's not organized. Descuidado también. So Sloppy says, will you believe that goddamn little bugger? And bugger is como diablo, right? That little bugger, mocoso. Here it says in Argentina, pendejo. Mocoso pone en España, okay? Criatura, yeah. En Mexico, chamaco, okay? So criatura. It's not a bad, it's that criatura, this little bugger, okay? So will you believe that goddamn litter bugger? Ah, no es little, lo leí mal. Okay, got it. So a litter bug, ya lo he pillado. Litter bug is somebody who chucks their garbage out of the car window. Somebody who chucks their garbage, but not in a garbage can. To litter, tirar, basura, pero no a la basura. So the person who does it is a litter bug. So she says, will you believe that goddamn litter bugger? Es un juego de palabras ahí con el bugger, mocoso, and litter bug. Alguien que tira la basura donde no tiene que ir. Then Beverly says, I have told her and told her, se lo tengo dicho 1000 veces, it takes 90 to 100 years for a tin can to decompose. And she still won't recycle. A tin can is aluminio, right? Aluminum. But you can also call it tin, right? Más fácil. De hecho, los británicos dicen aluminium y nosotros decimos aluminum. Te vale tin. So 100 years for a tin can to decompose, and she still won't recycle. And then Gus says, it cost the taxpayers millions of dollars last year. Les costó a los contribuyentes, paga impuestos, that's what we're called. Isn't that nice? It cost the taxpayers millions of dollars last year. But she doesn't care about the national budget. Le da igual el presupuesto nacional. And then Beverly says, I hate Mrs. Ackerman. La detesto, la odio. And Gus says, I hate her too. Sloppy says, I hate her guts. Odio sus entrañas. Well, that's a way of saying le odio a muerte, right? You can say, I hate you. O si quieres darle énfasis, I hate your guts, right? También, to have guts es tener agallas. So, dependiendo del uso. Hay also a beer gut, tripa cervecera. Pero en este caso es le odio a muerte. I hate her guts. You know, somebody ought to kill her. Ought to es debería. Es lo mismo que should. Somebody ought to kill her. You know it from Alanis Morissette. You ought to know. You remind me. So somebody ought to kill her. Oughta. And Gus says, yeah, give her a happy face, and then recycle her. Reciclarle. As compost, right? And then Beverly says, for the sake of this planet, por el bien de, saque se escribe, for the sake of this planet, someone just might. Quizá lo vaya a hacer alguien. So there you go, folks. This is Serial Mom, directed and written by John Waters, starring the one and only Kathleen Turner. All right, it's time to move on, though, because we've got tons of stuff to do still on today's show. So why don't we move into You're Joking?
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, folks. Well, since we were talking about watering, right? Watering plants, water under the bridge. We even talked about a body of water, which is a river, the most polluted river. Well, I figured we could stick with some plant jokes, right? Okay, let's see if you get these jokes. As always, these jokes are chosen because they have a double meaning, right? There's a pun therein, a pun, un juego de palabras ahí dentro. Okay, what did the daddy plant say to the baby plant? What did the daddy plant say to the baby plant? I'm rooting for you. No, I'm rooting for you. I said this at the beginning of the class, and I didn't even do it on purpose. I said, it's great how you encourage each other, how you cheer each other on, how you root for each other. To root for. Vamos, vamos, tú puedes. To support someone. Apoyar. Alentar. Animar. In Mexico, echar porras. Oh, I never heard of that one. So to root for. Okay? We're all rooting for you. Todos estamos aquí apoyándote. Now, obviously, the word root also, what does that mean? Raíz. You get it now? Raíz. Apoyar. Right? Alentar. What did the daddy plant say to the baby plant? I'm rooting for you. Bueno, si sabías la palabra root, raíz, pues ahora también sabes que to root for es apoyar a alguien. Okay? And as I always say, I'm always rooting for my students all the time, right? I feel like part of your job as a teacher is to root for your students. Come on, you can do it. Let's go. One more. Let's go. As Laura says, we're all rooting for each other. Cada uno está alentando al otro. Okay, the next one. What did the gardener do when he had problems with his flower? What did the gardener do when he had problems, with his flower? Okay. He nipped it in the bud. No. It's a bad one. So what did the gardener do when he had problems with his flower? He nipped it in the bud. Now, this is an expression. You say cortar de raíz, but we don't. We say it a little bit different because the bud is el capullo. So realmente cortas el capullo. So you guys cut it down further. We cut it at the top. Piénsalo así. So to nip something in the bud. We nipped it in the bud. Lo cortamos en la raíz, right? It's to stop something from developing any further. Okay, so you get it now? What did the gardener do when he had problems with his flower? He literally nipped it in the bud. And to nip is cortar. All right, amigos, we've got a birthday party to get to in famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for
All right, let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. Our first birthday boy is an English singer, songwriter, guitarist, and producer. He was born today in 1950. And, well, his breakthrough album, I can't tell you the full name. It's Comes Alive, porque es su apellido. Okay? Comes Alive. It came out in 1976. And it was certified 8 times platinum. It's one where he uses the talk box to make the guitar sound like it's talking. And, well, some of his most famous songs, I want you, show me the way, every day, I want you. Also, ooh, baby, I love your way, every day now. Do you feel like we do? Esa, vamos, si queréis oír el talk box you've got that one over there. But man, this guy definitely one of those people who pioneered the live album. When people said, oh my God, this is what he sounds like live? I got to see this guy live, right? Because a lot of, you have the studio album, everything's much more under control. So the question is, how do you sound live? And this guy proved that he is a master. Number 2, this guy, Juanito Riega. Juan Riega is his name, if we translate it. He's an American actor, director, and screenwriter. He did Hairspray, Serial Mom, Desperate Living, Cry Baby, Serial Mom. We looked at that one today. He also did Child's Play, all the movies from the Child's Play. How do you say Child's Play? El de Chucky. Bueno, hemos visto la palabra Chuck, ¿no? Chuck versus Chalk. Well, Chucky, la frase clave ahí, I'm Chucky, wanna play? En inglés se llama Child's Play. ¿Y sabes por qué? Porque Child's Play es pan comido. It's a great, great title. So yeah, this guy's made a lot of quirky, hablando de la palabra quirky, películas no convencionales. And last but not least, this guy is probably one of the most talented actors ever. He's super charismatic. He has been in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where he won the Academy Award for Best Actor. As Good as It Gets, Mejor Imposible. Also, Easy Rider, A Few Good Men. And I could go on and on. The Shining, El Resplandor, ¿cómo no? ¿Cómo no? So Mars Attacks. I mean, this guy, what's crazy is he's still making movies. And again, guys, he was born today in 1937. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Chris Valrol. Number 1, Peter Frampton. Tenéis que escuchar Frampton Comes Alive. It's awesome. Just press play and walk away. Frampton Comes Alive. Number 2, John Waters. We looked at that word in today's Double Trouble. And last but not least, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson. And that's going to bring us right over to today's Say What soundbite. Most of you knew it, so congrats. And this is him playing Jack Torrance in The Shining, El Resplandor. And he's doing the classic, little pigs, let me come in. And then he answers, not by the hair on your chinny chin chin, ni por los pelos de tu barbilla. Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin. Well, then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in, y tiraré tu casa. And then he says the famous line where he, with an axe, makes a huge hole in the door. He puts his head in there and he goes, here's Johnny. Well, here's Jack.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on your chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. Here's Johnny.
All right. Wonderful job, everybody. What can I say? Excellent participation today. Keep up the great work. And, well, we're going to say goodbye with a song called Shine On. Sigue brillando. It's by birthday boy Peter Frampton. And I say the same thing to you, amigos. Shine on. Thank you, and we'll be back tomorrow. Ciao for now.